I think it was tremendous to have a debate that focused entirely on terrorism and on our need to protect ourselves and our freedom. I'm proud to have been governor on September 11th, and I vowed then that we would do everything in our power, if I ever had the chance, to make sure we didn't pretend that because radical Islam might be located overseas, it didn't pose a threat to our security here. It does. We will destroy ISIS if I have the chance to bring this country together.
Governor.
But one other point on it, and that is that, as I mentioned in the closing, I saw the tremendous capability of Americans when we stand together. We have to unify America. We cannot look at this as Republicans or Democrats. We have to look at it as Americans. We're one America. And when we stand together, as we did after September 11th, there is nothing we cannot accomplish as a people.
Governor, you're not on the ballot in Florida, you're not on the ballot in Virginia, you're not on the ballot in Texas. When are you going to drop this?
I'm going to just keep going and win the other states.
Governor, you called Vladimir Putin a bully. Can you elaborate on that?
I think quite clearly that's what he's been from the beginning, whether it's in the Crimea, in Ukraine, what he's been trying to do to the Eastern European states, or what he's done now in intervening in Syria to support Assad and support Iran. That's what he is.
Governor,
Russia's economy is in the dumps. Their people are suffering. But this guy parades as though he's the leader of the greatest country in the world. He's not.
Governor, if you could give the mainstream media a grade, A to F, in terms of how they've covered your campaign and the GOP primary campaign in general, what grade would you give them?
I can't give him an F minus. I think it's been all about ratings and saying outrageous things, and way more than half of the entire coverage the media has given to the Republican candidates has been about Donald Trump. The more outrageous and stupid things he says, the more media attention he gets, and it is impacting the race. They are also limiting the impact of the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primary, because there you talk to the voters, not on TV, but across the table. That's retail politics. That's the best way to select a leader for our country.
Governor, you heard some talking about issues. Can you talk about terrorism? You talked about what happened in Los Angeles today as an example of radical Islam, possibly. What are the lessons that you learned from what happened today and what has been happening the last few weeks?
Well, what has been happening for the last few years, literally since Fort Hood and the Boston Marathon bombings, is that radical Islam is here. And as long as we do not go after ISIS's ability to recruit, to train, to plan, and to organize attacks, we're going to face more attacks. We have to destroy them there before they have the chance to attack us again here.
Governor, how do you balance what you do with also not overreacting?
That's where I would disagree with Lindsey Graham. I'm not saying we have to nation build. We don't have to send in tens of thousands of troops. Work with the fighters on the ground, the Peshmerga, the Sunni Arabs, the Yazidis, and others. Ramp up the bombing attacks. But certainly, if it's necessary to destroy those planning centers, send in American special ops, destroy them, and then leave the territory behind to the boots on the ground to control it, not American troops.
What's your message to citizens who are concerned, like in Los Angeles, where we're reporting from, people very concerned about what happened today with the schools? For people that are feeling paranoid, what do you say to them?
This is still America. We have great law enforcement, and much as I dislike the current administration, I know there are great professionals doing everything in their power to defend us. We cannot live in fear. We're Americans. We have to live with the confidence and freedom that we're entitled to have as American citizens, and not let the terrorists win by having us live in cow. As I said after September 11th, we vowed not just to rebuild, but to sort of new heights. Americans must defeat terrorism, but then stand together and soar to a much brighter future. I know if we're united, we can do that.
Governor, you called for back doors for law enforcement, civil libertarians.
Just look at what happened in Garland, Texas. 109 messages the day before that jihadist wanted to kill dozens of Americans to a known terrorist overseas. And to this day, we don't know what's in those messages because they were encrypted. Have encryption, protect regular communication, but have a backdoor for law enforcement where they can establish, to get a court order, that there is a risk of terrorist activity being carried on here. I think that balances civil liberties with our need to protect ourselves.
So it would be more of a Fourth Amendment type deal as well, because it could raise Fourth Amendment issues.
I think it's the appropriate balance between protecting ourselves from terrorists who we know are here, and at the same time protecting our civil liberties.
Governor, you've missed several state filing deadlines. What does that say about your seriousness for running for president?
I'm totally serious. What it says is we have limited resources, and we're going to continue to focus on the states where we can and do our best. And if I'm successful, we'll be able to win despite those states.
Overall, how did you do tonight?
I never grade myself, but my friends all are very happy. And I can tell you, my friends are not backslappers. They're the first ones to say, what were you thinking? But they're all happy, and I think it went very well.
Governor, do you think Donald Trump is damaging the party?
I think Donald Trump is damaging the political dialogue in America. He comes out with one stupid idea after another, continues to insult people over and over again, and is not fit to be president of the United States, nor is Hillary Clinton. I mean, we didn't get into it, but when you talk about national security, when the Secretary of State uses a homebrew server for her entire email communications, including privileged communications, and we know that they've been hacked, that is an enormous threat to national security. Neither one of them is fit to be president of the United States. I'm in the process of reading Black Count. It's the story of Alexander Rosbach. It's absolutely fascinating. It's the story. I would. I think it's it's history, but it's very interesting history. And as you get on, you may want to read Alexander Rosbach. It's like the Count of Monte Cristo and others. But this is about his father, and it's very, very interesting.
Governor Pataki.